We're live.
All right, welcome back to another edition of TDS Live, the Temple Film Room. It's USF's first win in 728 days. So let's break down how it happened. Alongside me, as always, Seth Varnadore. You can catch him on Twitter at Seth Varnadore and myself at Bulls Nathan SBN. And Seth, before we get into it, we've got some exciting stuff happening tomorrow. It's the annual, except for COVID year, the annual Daily Stampede Watch Party, hosted at the beautiful Irish 31 down there in Hyde Park, where there's plenty of parking. There's parking garages, plenty of drinks, plenty of food. It's going to be a great time. If you guys saw on Twitter,
What's happening tomorrow? Oh Lord!
Oh God, what's happening?
Go ahead.
If you guys saw on Twitter, Olivia's already prepped and ready. She got some balloons. We're going to have some tickets to give away. We're going to raffle off some tickets with the proceeds going to helping us do this job and send people on the road to cover games. So that's the plan. Special guest or two. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But Seth, let's get into it. USF knocks off Temple in convincing fashion, as I predicted. They won 34-14, ran for a program record 421 yards, and just dominated from start to finish. Let's kick it off. First play of the game here, Seth.
Let's do it.
We've talked about it. How was USF so successful with the running game in the first half, and then especially in the second half?
So obviously they were able to get some movement up front, but like this is the first play of the game, and it's kind of a theme of the game. You're going to see the jet motion here, and this is just a simple inside zone off the jet motion, but that just movement there. You see, they kind of see how they're attacking this. You got the safety rolling down. They'll start to take advantage of that more as the game goes on. But set that up. They obviously see something they like early. They maybe think they can get the edge because the very next play, they kind of catch it late here. They go to like a tight formation. And this actually doesn't really capture it here. So they had Jimmy Horn right here as a wing, and they had a bunch set here. So you had 1, 2, 3 there, and then Jaron Mangum's actually all the way out here. You can't see him. So he splits out wide. That's who this guy's covering. So they use that to widen him out. You use this bunch to get yourself an edge right here. Let him climb, and then get the ball in a playmaker's hands in space. You don't pick up a ton here, but you get the defense moving. But you still get a pretty good gain. It's not probably doesn't qualify as the big play, but there's probably 10 yards right there. You get the defense moving, show a pretty different formation with it too. And then here's kind of the threat you can get with the quarterback run. You see they're coming up. Temple's playing a little bit of three safety stuff. Safety comes up to fit, and he kind of plays off for the quarterback here for a second and kind of hesitates, and that's kind of all the good job up front here. As Jennings kind of sealing that. Good job by the tight end right there. He's coming up and fits outside because of the quarterback. And by the time he readjusts, the running back's by him. So just kind of what the threat of those legs can do for you. Here's one where it's just kind of like, there were times it felt like Timmy was a little hesitant. So you had this up in the press box. It was kind of easier to see. You had that coming, and there's going to be a hole over there for him to fit this ball into, and it looks like he looks that way, but he decides to kind of pull it down. So he's initially working this side. Right here, it looks like he's starting to look, and you just got to throw it into that hole. He was open. He's going to come to there. Just kind of throw it in that space. So he's kind of waiting, and then he just decides, okay, I don't like it. I'll just take off and get what I can. He ends up picking up a good gain on first down, which you're okay with picking up 5 on first down, but I think to win some more games throughout the year, you're going to have to be able to hit these kind of throws and anticipate that window and just let it rip. He sees it, which is good. I think he sees a lot of it. He's just kind of not quite trusting his eyes just yet, or he's really trying to be safe with the ball, which is not a bad thing, being safe with the ball. But I think to win some games, you're going to have to take some more risk and kind of let it fly a little bit.
Yeah, and you mentioned we talked about that right after the play happened in the press box. We were lucky enough to have ESPN Plus up, so we were able, we're a few plays behind, so we were able to kind of instant reaction in the press box, and you take a great play and make it good, right? Like
Yeah.
that would have been a great 15-yard dig route, maybe broken tackle, touchdown. Yeah. Now it's a good play. It's still good. 5 yards on first down is still very good, but it's those little opportunities that can kind of kick this offense into an extra gear that Timmy has been missing a little bit, and we're still unsure of his status for tomorrow. Just feels unlikely he'll play, and we'll get to the play that that kind of caused this consternation as we get deeper.
Yeah, and that throw that he could have made right there to Horn is not to the concept wasn't the same, but the route, that kind of deep dig route, deep in route, is not too is pretty much the same one he hit Latrell Williams on for that really big gain against FAMU. So we've seen him make the throw, make it really well. So you just got to kind of trust those eyes and let it rip. So here you got again a tight formation. This is another thing they did a lot: tight formations, trying to get Temple to condense on defense and then use that to get to the edge. They're going to down. It's almost like crack toss almost, and you're going to pull the tackle around, but it's really kind of like a pin pull sweep. Toss it out here to the back with the lead blocker out in front. Really good job by DeMontre Jacobs, right? I mean, great job coming down the line here. And then good job by Greg.
He's been a find. He's been a really good find. He's really come on.
He looked the part last year physically. Just when you saw him, you're like, man, this guy's got long arms. I think I told you that he could tie his shoe without bending over. Right, his arms are so long.
Yeah,
but he's been really good. And look at that right there, athleticism too. He's not a slug. He's out there moving a ton. And then you've got two other linemen downfield here on this big run. So receivers blocking downfield, and then if your linemen are getting downfield, you're in much better shape. So this was second down. Once you get down, inside the 20 here, you're in the red zone. I just put this on here because this was kind of the drive killer right here. It looks like I don't know if he's supposed to motion him a little bit before the snap, and then he's coming across for the split zone look, or if he's supposed to bluff it and get out in the flat like he does later. But this doesn't look good from the start. You get him not getting across because either he didn't get motion in time or they didn't time up the snap or something happened, or he was either too wide, where I think he's supposed to be here kicking this guy out. Now these climbing to there, and he's climbing to the second level here. So you got a really good play if you get that. But right there, you kind of get him. You still end up picking up decent yardage, but this was a play that was just a little off from the beginning that probably could have been even bigger here if they kind of got that timing right. So that one, then you get a holding, I think, on the next play, and that kind of kills the drive. But that one could have been an even bigger play there, possibly maybe getting the end zone. But you get a holding, you get pick up a little bit on third down, and here's fourth down. This is a play we talked about yesterday on the podcast. Could be, a turning point. Depending on if they can follow up on this kind of.
Where's Chris Carter?
I believe this is him here.
Yep. So he's standing pretty flat-footed at the 12 and takes off.
And also a good job by the kicker, not just making the guy move a little bit, but this is awesome job by Chris Carter. Great effort. You see him turn and run immediately. Once he sees something up, he starts running. He doesn't kind of half jog. He's going. Good job by the kicker to not let the defensive back there, I believe it was, get up to full speed. And then we'll see another angle of it here, I believe. Good effort by the holder. And the kicker at least doesn't give him that straight line. And then out of nowhere, Chris Carter. Down at the 5 instead of a touchdown. Change the whole tenor of the game, really, because here's the drive after this. Temple running some outside zone. Not a great job, not a bad job, just kind of all right, giving up about 3 yards on first down inside the 5 now. They try to run the jet motion. Pretty good job here of kind of causing a pile in the middle of the field there. You get a holding call on third down, and now you get to this, which is, I think the other part of, the effort by Chris Carter, maybe it's subconscious, but he also had to have some belief in the defense to step up and bow up, right? If you're going to run all the way down there so you don't concede a touchdown, you have some belief in your defense, and you kind of showed them that you got their back a little bit too, and they really responded here. They're going to try to just run a go route on Christian Williams, I believe, and then you have Micaiah Point get over the top of the single receiver. Gets his hand in there and then tips up to the point. Great job and great toe tap. I think we have a different view of it here too. Gets his hand in there. Gets a bounce. Great concentration. Gets 2 in just in case. Awesome job. Great response. And that really, that 4-play series really kind of from the Chris Carter tackle to that third down there, that really kind of set the tone for the game, I thought. So then how do you respond offensively right after you get, your defense gets a big stop? Come back to the run game here. I wanted to show this because I wanted everybody to watch Mangum's feet right here. This is one that they don't get blocked up great. You get a free rusher through a blitzer. But we'll watch in fast motion here. Just watch this little cut. And he's able to get vertical that quickly. For a guy that size, it's really, really good stuff. So you got a free blitzer here. Just quick cut and then get back vertical in 2 steps.
He's not crossing his feet. He's fluid and just still maintaining that power and burst through the hole. And I mean, we've talked about his feet and basically the entire running back room's feet has been impressive to see.
Yeah, and for a guy his size, he's great, and just he'll be a great zone back, and they used him with that. But he's been really impressive, especially for how big he is and his size and the kind of the reputation he seemed to have coming in. You thought he was just going to be kind of a short yardage bruiser, and he's really showed he's got really nimble feet and has got some athleticism too. So he's not just kind of a short yardage guy. He can do some stuff. So here's the concept. So the jet sweep, the zone off the sweep, and then we'll see some counter off of it later. But this was another concept they really liked. So bash, we talked about it last week. That's like back away from the quarterback. So right, back away, BA, and making it easy to remember term, bash, back away from the quarterback. So the run so it's really kind of a zone play here for McClain if he keeps it. We're reading this guy. But typically in the zone read, right, the back's here, the quarterback's the guy that will go outside if he pulls it, right? And on bash, it's going to be the back that's the outside guy if the end stays square or squeezes. And then you're going to arc the tight end out for him. Everybody on the line is blocking left for the quarterback. So the quarterback keeps it. He's following the line. This is something they used to run with Quentin Flowers. I saw them run this against Memphis, I believe. They would run it off jet motion. They broke a huge play with it against Memphis. I remember seeing this summer when I was studying some stuff. So this is something you've seen before if you're a USF fan. Put him in a bind. What's he going to do? Is he going to play the quarterback? Well, if he does, and then all these guys are playing that run here because the line's going that way, give it to the back, give him out on the edge in some space here. So you get all that play from the up front. And if they try to slow play it and play the back, now you got your quarterback with the kind of a lot of the ability to move. And so that's kind of how they ran some of these tighter looking, like where it looks more like jet sweep. Again, here's The back's all the way out here. You got this tight formation here. This is kind of the same thing right here. Arcing. He basically becomes the running back. This is almost like a double wing look. And again, we're all just stepping here. The quarterback could keep it and run to the side. And again, watch all the play you get with the line stepping this way. These guys all play here, there. He ends up kind of arcing to nobody. Maybe it should have gone there, but this is a pretty good play by the Temple player. But you'll see that this comes back into play later in the game where they're over pursuing like this and making that play on Jimmy Horn. Well, what does that tell me as a play caller? It tells me I might have some counter or some play action stuff off that if this guy wants to get that nosy, right? So it gives me some information. But
Seth, as a play caller, you start to see this trend of them being very aggressive early on, kind of pursuing the ball to the Jet side, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much of a struggle, like an internal struggle, is it to, because you're going to see the counter in the second half and you don't see it much, if at all, in the first half.
I think you see one. It looks like one rep of it in the first half.
How much of a struggle is it to be like, I can't break this out too early, or I'm just kind of blowing it here, or do I just kind of just keep setting it up and then in the second half I'm going to crush them with this? Like, is it more of a game dictating how soon you go to it, or is it take me through your process, as a former offensive coordinator, a coach? Like, how do you kind of decide and decipher when to kind of break out the counter to what you're running?
Yeah, so early in the game, it's a lot. Everything to me early on in the game, like the first couple drives, and that's why a lot of times you'll script stuff, is just gathering information. So I love to motion early because then I could get a look. If I motion from one formation to the other, I can see how the defense plays two formations in one play. Then I can see if they're rotating, if they're going to rotate safeties down for play action and that kind of stuff. So there's kind of two schools of thought. Some people like to see it, and then as soon as they see how the defense is going to play it, let it rip. And there is a school of thought about, for some of this stuff, I think when it's going to be a really big part of the gameplay, maybe if it's not like one shot play, but it's like a whole sequence, that you wait till after halftime, because then they don't have time to adjust again. They'll have to make adjustments on the sidelines, whereas if you show it in the first half a lot, they'll be able to go in at halftime, talk over it, and make those necessary adjustments. If you wait till after halftime, they're going to have to try to catch up, on the sideline while you run this play over and over. So it makes it a little tougher to adjust, especially if the coordinator's up in the box and all that kind of stuff. So there's kind of two different schools of thought. But I think if it's going to be more of something that you're really going to go to a lot, if you can, like if the game is still in hand, or if you feel pretty comfortable, it's something you can hold till after the half, because once you unleash it, it really limits how much they can do, because they can't just go in and get on the board for 15 minutes while the game's going on. You can only do that at halftime. So it's kind of a pick your poison. But I think if you got a game in control, it can be a smart thing to save it till after the half to really limit their opportunity to adjust. So there it is, kind of jet sweep, but with the bash look as well. Here's a great individual play. So we already saw a great individual play by Chris Carter. Here's another one. So this is basically just triple option. He's the dive read. I pulled it. Now he becomes the pitch read. I go here. Once he comes to me, drop it off to the tight end. There you go. And then right here, just a great individual play, turning like a 3-yard gain or a 2-yard gain into like an 8-yard gain, and you get from 2nd and 12 to 3rd and more manageable, right? So right there, so you go from 2nd and 12, if this is the next play here coming up, to like a 3rd and 3. So that's pretty good right there. All right, another look at the bash. So here you got the back lined up as a wing, and he's going to do a little motion here, jet sweep, but then also with this coming back the other way. So it's kind of jet and quarterback counter almost. And how are they going to play it? You see you get some play with the linemen here. And then you get those guys arcing. A really good cut here by the back. Petit getting vertical. Just about squeezing through there, but picking up the first down. But right there, all that wide motion gets these guys running wide. And what USF's backs do a really good job is sticking their foot in the ground and getting vertical.
Yeah, like just from this freeze frame, you're thinking, how is he going to get upfield? And it just, I mean, you're not seeing this kind of footwork, many places, right? Like we haven't seen this in quite a little while. This is some Marlon Mack, Dearness Johnson kind of just incredible footwork from the running backs.
I mean, they've got at least 3, and then now Felix is back, and he's, in high school was a really unbelievable player, and he's shown some flashes in college, but they've got at least 3 guys that have played that could all be the starter easily. If you told me Petit was a starter, I'd say, okay, great. Joyner, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Mangum, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Any one of these guys could be the starter. So when they rotate, you really don't lose a lot, and you kind of gain whatever the different guy's skill set is. Here, Petit puts his foot in the ground, is just explosive up the field, and he's a strong runner. We'll see later he's breaking tackles. So you pick up the first down there, and then you get to 4th and 1 eventually on the same series here. Do the quick toss out there. Good run by Mangum there down to the 1. No fumble. Came out way after. Then just a little jet inside zone there. He walks in. You can see on the back view, he literally just doesn't touch anybody and stops moving once he passes the goal line. Easy look there on the goal line. Good job up front. All right, then to see kind of a pretty well-played jet sweep. You saw one from Temple, but USF did a pretty good job with it on defense as well. They try to go to the same look here. Good job up front. I believe it's Blake Green just bowling over the tackle off the snap. Then running flat down the line of scrimmage, and then you got linebackers and safeties coming to rally and tackle here. This is what happens if you he's trying to cut block here. You don't get low enough. They've been working with those big the bouncy balls there to work on not getting those cut blocks on their legs. Really good looking job there by Blake Green, and then great job rallying to the ball. So that jet sweep looked like it could be a big play. They sniff it out. Really good job by the defense there. Great job by Mekhi LaPointe coming up and turning that ball back inside too. This is really, really good job here. Remember how a couple weeks ago the SMU game, you had a safety come up and then give the outside to, I believe it might have been Roberson on a screen, right? And he scored.
Yep.
Right here, watch the Mekhi LaPointe's angle. Bang through this block, keep his outside arm free, turn it back inside. He doesn't make the tackle, but he turns it back into all these guys, and it's a 1-yard gain. Whereas if he tries to jump inside here and make the play, he just gives up this whole edge. So this is a really good job here by LaPointe. He had a really good game. But right there, that's perfect. Turn the ball back inside to your pursuit. That's why you do pursuit drills. Turn the ball back in. Everybody's coming to the ball. And you see Mangum jump on the pile here. We'll look at this vert right here. It's coming. There you go. That's one way to get somebody down there. So really good job there. Temple's forced to punt, get the ball back. Here was your one look, I think, at counter in the first half. So you show the jet. You get a little movement there inside. Here comes the counter, then a great move on the defender there by Joyner. Picks up 11. You'll see a lot of that in the second half. This is, this is simple arithmetic right here. I got 3 out here. Right now they have 3, technically. But 3 is going to come, so that means I've got 3 on 2 out here. Throw the ball out there. That's easy. All you need to know. That guy's creeping. Bang, throw it out there. And then let this guy do his thing because he's going to be a special player. He just runs different than most people on the field. He's really smooth, and he just kind of eats up chunks of yards. He'll be, I'm glad to see they're starting to get the ball in his hands in more ways because he's just the guy that can break the game open if you give him a seam. Right there, that's a really easy throw for the quarterback to pick up, 20-plus yards here. Nice when you have one of those guys. Really, really easy throw.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. So here we go, a little speed option look, and this is a play that looked like they had it early. I think that you got this arc here. He's going to come outside and invite him inside. As soon as he goes inside, it's over. He's gone. I can work the second level. I can climb, right? So as soon as he goes inside, this is like a easy pitch. You don't even have to read it that much. If he would have gone outside over the top, which it would have been tough for him because the tackle is kind of inviting him inside, right? Watch how he turns here. Just invites him upfield inside. Thank you very much. You're out of the play because he's not catching him, and now he's arced here. Then great job breaking the tackle there. Temple had, with this kind of funky alignment they would do where they'd have like 3 safeties, so you'd have like a middle safety. Sometimes this middle safety didn't get blocked, like on the Jimmy Horn jet sweep earlier and on this one. But they did a pretty good job of making those guys miss at the second level, which is where you get big runs, right? You can't block everybody if you're turning and handing it to someone. So if they make a guy miss, that's where you can get some really big runs too. Really good job here breaking through this tackle, picking up some extra tough yards. And right here, these are just the ones you got. These are the ones you got to hit. You set it up. You've been running on the perimeter. You've been hitting these toss plays. Get it out there right here. And it's a little bit tougher because it's going to his right, and he's got to flip his hips here. They probably could have helped him with that. But, man, you just got to hit that thing right up the seam. That's a big play. If you can get that on him. A little bit behind him. Probably a catchable ball. But these are plays, on both ends of it, you got to complete. Because when you get these when you're playing tough, tight games and you get these dialed up, you got to complete it. You got to make the catch when the ball's catchable. Because if you can hit this thing on the run here, now you're just one-on-one with his safety, really. If you can make him miss, maybe you can generate a really big play. But these are the ones that are there. They just got to hook them up. Again, that bash look. And these are the ones where Nate kept thinking he's going to get his longer than 10-yard touchdown run.
Seriously, I mean, I really thought it was going to happen. I was so confident. Just dang, there were so many times where we're like, oh, this is it. And then he gets like tripped up like, oh, this is brutal.
And on this one, you kind of don't even, you kind of are in a decent spot right here for Temple. The hesitation of having him back there kind of holds him for a half second, and he's able just to run by this guy, which is, what you're hoping will happen if you leave the defensive end unblocked and it's a race to the sideline with your linebacker. Or with your running back, rather. He ends up getting there late, but, if he's going to make the tackle 15 yards downfield, you'll be all right with that all day long. Then this one, I don't know if I think this was a busted play here, but a heads-up move. I'm guessing, my guess is that he was supposed to come inside and block, and this is basically like a screen. It's supposed to be a screen here. Pull it. Throw it to the tight end, let him walk in. It kind of gets – he goes inside here. They blitz, they kind of blitz into it, which kills it a little bit. And then the tight end gets wrapped up, blows out this guy's knee. And then good awareness by both these guys, him to realize, this play's kind of dead. I'm going to just drift to the end zone. Good job by McLean of not just being like, oh, crap, the guy I'm supposed to throw it to just blew out this guy's knee when he fell. And just kind of keep his eyes downfield and throw it to Gregory. That looked like a bad – and Nate saw that first in the press box. That looked like a bad knee injury. So, unfortunate for number 24 there, but –
I think that's Keyshawn Paul, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He's the guy who nearly scooped and scored. So a tough night, just all around for him, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, but good awareness by the quarterback and receiver there for the touchdown.
That was DeMarcus Gregory's first career receiving touchdown, and Timmy's, I believe, second passing touchdown.
There you go. All right, so this is probably the only really bad play we're going to show. It's just simple man-to-man one-on-one. You just kind of get beat at the line of scrimmage, and then the play's dead. Like, it's over as soon as you get beat up front. And this is a guy that's working back in first game back. Good release by the receiver. And he kind of just beats him off the line of scrimmage. I think this is kind of a rust issue, maybe. Then a really good throw here by the quarterback. Really the only bad play of the night. But it's just as simple. It looks like you're just playing man, and you just kind of lose the release here at the line of scrimmage. So there wasn't a ton that could be done there. Just a little bit better job at the point of attack there. And you can probably slow him down a little bit. But just kind of got a good, easy release, good release by the receiver. And like I always say, the other team's got guys on scholarship too, so they're going to make some plays. So good for them. Good throw, good release there. Does USF have an answer on offense? So here they come back. Here's taking a shot. Again, right decision. They gotta hook one of these up. You know, eventually you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna stop saying they're close, and you're gonna say, well, they gotta hit them. You know, eventually, and we're getting there. But what's encouraging is that you're making the right decision, right? You're trying to see, or do these safeties stay down? If they do, take that shot over the top. So right here, you've got kind of a crosser coming across, holds the safeties. There's one, there's the other. This is the backside safety. He's got no chance on the play. So you make the right read. Give him a shot here. See if you can go up and make the play. But good read. Just got to, again, there's a couple, they got to get the finishing touches on those deep plays. But this was a really good throw right here on the third down. Timmy had a couple good throws on third downs to extend drives. So he wasn't his sharpest, I don't think, but he made some really big plays when you needed him on third down. Right here, it looks like you're just kind of running double hitches almost, or double curls, and Bryce Miller does a good job of finding the hole in the zone. So right here, goes to turn. It kind of just turns away from this guy. Timmy makes a good read, confident, quick throw, and quick decision, and puts it on him there. So really good job there on third down. Right? No hesitation here. When he just takes his steps and throws and is confident in it, he's really good. You can see the skill. You can see everything. There's just times where he's not quite trusting what he's seeing. But when he does, man, he's got a lot of talent. So you just got to – it's just, you know, playing more games, getting more comfortable, that kind of stuff. But here's the play that may affect what happens going forward more than any other. Great run. Right here, you'll see it's kind of almost, you know, how they're teaching the tackles kind of roll a little bit. You get a little bit of a gator roll maybe here at the end by the tackler. It's hard to tell if this is kind of what does it here, if he kind of tweaks it, the ankle here, or if it's this coming down on the leg. Because the lineman gets kind of tripped, and then he kind of lands on him. I don't know. It looks like he kind of lands more outside of him, and it's just kind of maybe got caught underneath here. But it is an ankle. That's correct.
Yeah, it's an ankle.
Yeah, so looks like it may have just got caught up underneath here as this guy dove to make the tackle. And then I'm sure the lineman landing on you doesn't help. But I think more of his weight seemed to land outside of the frame of the body there. So that's a good wrestling back bump right there. You throw your hands out, you know, that's a pretty good job there.
Yeah. And you mentioned, you know, we're unsure what his status is for tomorrow. My gut feeling is he's not playing, and Travis Marsh will be the starter. He was the guy that came in the second half and looked pretty good. The concerning part for me at least is That first drive in the second half, they took a couple of deep shots that kind of stalled out the drive a little bit, and then they kind of just went back to the pop passes.
Yeah.
Travis, he's got a big arm. I was watching him in warm-ups. They're just it's a really pretty deep ball. They've got to hit on some of these at some point. Like it needs to happen to take the next step against better teams. Regardless of who the quarterback is, I think Timmy's hit a few more deep balls than Travis has in his career, and you kind of saw Marsh is not the runner that Timmy is.
Yeah,
he is a pocket passer.
Yeah, he's a thrower. I think he's one of those guys that can run if he needs to get away from pressure, because he's not a slug. But yeah, he's a guy that wants to throw the ball, and he's got a really strong arm. So I thought he did some good things, and we'll see some of his play here in the second half. But I'll be really interested to see what the offense looks like without Timmy, if that's the case. Will the offense kind of function a little better if kind of really more delineated run and pass, not so much RPO, where it's really we're calling a run play, we're calling a pass play. It'll be interesting to see. So here's another look at Bash. Again, stress the end man. Make him make a play in space, make him make a decision. As soon as he comes inside there, it's over. He's not going to be able to chase this guy. Good hard running. Another good run there. Third down. This is one where it's like, I don't know if they realized how that Timmy was hurt here.
Right.
Once you watch it, you can kind of see there's really he's not really trying to do too much here, but stay off his foot, it seems like. So you got a draw play called. Right here, not the worst call, right? It looks like they're gonna kind of set it this way. So you're gonna have four guys this way, one-on-one here. The back's coming across for that. So when you look at that, you got a 5-man box, you got 6 blockers. It's not a terrible call. I think Timmy was really kind of feeling it because he doesn't really sell pass here very much. He just kind of is getting in the line of scrimmage, and then you can see here it doesn't look like he's real interested and having people dive at his legs. So he kind of just gets what he can and gets down. So not a great call, but I don't know if they realized kind of how he was feeling. I think there may be a pass off of this. There may be something attached with it, but it seemed like he was just kind of like, let's get out of here, kick a field goal. Because his ankle was obviously hurting him, right? Second half. Travis Marsh time. Here we go. You're going to see a heavy dose of this in the second half. Jet sweep. Get the flow. Look at the flow here. I mean, you can see everybody's basically moving this way. And now, thank you. We've got 2 guys kept pulling around here. Right there, you can see all these guys are on this side.
I've made a great big mistake.
And then you got 2 for 2 basically here. Good job by number 23 from Temple getting back in this play here. But this is kind of what you were setting up the whole first half, and they wore it out, let me tell you. So this is one thing that I like seeing from Marsh, and that I think you want to see from quarterbacks going forward. If you're going to have these defenses really concerned with the box and run game, and they're going to give you this cushion here, and this is kind of attached throw here, take that all day. Take these 5-yard hitches, whip it out there, and you can see Marsh's big arm there. Smooth, it gets on the receiver in a hurry, picks up. What do we pick up there? Like 8 yards, something like that. Easy throws, easy catches, moving the ball in first down here. So then you get a first down, and you decide you want to take a shot here. This is one I thought was a pretty good throw. This is one that probably should have been it really looked like a pass interference. You kind of lose it. Again, this is the right read. You're getting over the top. There's the safety. He's not anywhere near it. And you see he gets pulled down. The ball lands right here. Right here. So you feel like if he doesn't get pulled down, he's probably running underneath that one. So good. It seemed to be a good throw, but you don't get much out of it. It just goes down as a long incompletion. But you can kind of see the arm Marsh has, and I thought this ended up being a pretty accurate ball here. So if you can get the defenses to come up and play run, and you can start hitting some of these shots over the top because they're going to be there, now you become really tough to defend. That's what I thought, like Heupel's offenses at Tennessee, kind of wherever he's been, everyone looks at the deep passes, but it's really, he sets it up by running the ball a ton. And when they have success running the ball, so you look at Tennessee, they have a lot of success running the ball. So then they get these boxes where it's easy to make throws, and when they can hit the shots over the top, that's when they have the really good offenses, right? So it's kind of the same concept. Make people come up and honor the run, and then take your shots over the top. If you hit them, you become really tough to defend. Jet counter. Again, you're going to see it a lot. So we'll just jet. So this front side here is down, 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 down. Pulling. He's looking to kick, but he does a pretty good job here. Temple defender jumps inside. Instead of kicking him, he kind of logs him. And then really good job here by the tackle of not trying to go inside there, but he sees that he's logged him, which means he's reached him, kind of got his outside, and he keeps going. Really good job there, kind of sorting that out, because that's kind of a tough look right there at times. That's how some teams will try to defeat the counter, by jumping inside and spilling it to the outside. And so they kind of wrong arm it and try to get it to spill. But he does a really good job of not getting sucked in and staying on his track and picking up a defender there. Really good job sorting that out.
And that right side of the offensive line in Dustin Hall and DeMontre Jacobs has been a steadying force. That right side's been a bit of an adventure for the last couple of years, and that the starting five, that the cohesiveness that they have so far has been really nice to see, and it's kind of helps bring this offense. I mean, you run the ball for 421 yards, man. You deserve some praise, and those five have been, really, really good. I think it was a good response after the Tulsa game where they weren't great as a unit. I think this was a really good response by them to just kind of assert their dominance as an offensive line, and it was good to see bouncing back from a up and down game against Tulsa.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about this group is I believe they'll all be back next year too. So you've got the makings of some really, really good football coming your way, because it seems like the future is pretty bright. So here you go. It looks like just a straight up RPO here. Off outside. They got outside zone called. So again, let's get back to the front. That'll probably be easier. So I think they probably, if it's an RPO, they probably lock the tackle on backside so you don't get a free rusher. Then it looks like everybody else is just stepping left here. That outside zone where I try to take it wide and then get vertical with one cut, right? Because then I get these guys flowing over the top with that outside zone look. I read him. He starts to react to the run. That opens up the window here for Jimmy Horn. Throws a little bit high there. This could be a timing issue. These guys not getting a ton of reps together, but if you get this throw on him, if I can just hit him square in the chest right here, this guy's not taking a great angle. He may beat him across face and score. So these are the ones, like the ones I showed earlier with Timmy. These have got to be automatic. Once you start hitting these, so like these kind of throws and then the play action shots, right? These are all kind of, you could classify them a little bit as play action. But once you start making people pay for coming up in the run game, either they're going to stop coming up in the run game, and now you can run a little easier, or they stay with it. You keep hitting these, now you're going to get big plays. This is where the explosive plays happen, is off these kind of shots. But you just got to get a little better throw there. If you can, you got a lot of green grass, a lot of space there. Put this on here because this was just a bomb field goal.
And kickers are people too. And Spencer Schrader's one of those guys. He's a interesting dude, to say the least. There's a great story by Joey Johnston on GoUSFBulls.com kind of profiling Spencer. He's a really interesting dude. I don't know if he's still doing his road trip videos that he did last year. I'll have to double check on that on YouTube. If someone in the comments can go check out, see if Spencer's still doing those, because those are always really cool to see. And he's just a real smart and bright dude. His sister's a soccer player at UT. I believe she started at USF, if I'm not mistaken. And their family has been real supportive of the football team, even through everything. And what he went through in 2019 would discourage most kickers. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, he went 1 for 5 against Cincinnati in 2019, missed multiple field goals to take the lead. He missed a game-winning field goal toward the end with like a minute left. Cincinnati comes down, drives and kicks a game-winning field goal of their own to win the game and kind of cement that Charlie Strong would no longer be here. So maybe it was a good thing. But I believe since last year, he's 13 of 14 on field goal attempts. He's perfect this year, 9 for 9, including this 52-yard absolute rocket launcher that's probably good from 60.
I mean, it hits the S there in the netting. So it would have gone, I think probably if there's no netting there, probably would have gone into the stands. And as you can see, my super straight line there, it's basically right down the middle too. So about as perfect as you can kick a football right there. Just hitting bombs, 53-yard bombs. So that was good to see. And then a good job by the holder getting it down after. I'm sure he's a little gun shy after that first snaps through his hand that he gets smoked by, or he's trying diving to tackle a guy. That's not really typically in the holder's MO, making open field tackles. So good job by him getting back on it. I put this in here. You got 3rd and long, and this is all they're trying to do. They're trying to run off here and basically throw this shallow here, hoping you don't come up and rally and tackle. Throw the shallow. Not a great throw, a little bit behind him, but you see the defense rally and make the tackle there short of the sticks. For a defense that had some problems on 3rd downs throughout the year, and even 3rd and long seemed to even be particularly an issue at times. Really good job here. Great job of diagnosing it and getting guys to the ball. I mean, you've got guys that are rushing the passer getting in here on the tackle. That's great stuff.
Yep. Temple was they only had the ball for 15 minutes. They were 2 of 7 on 3rd downs. Their average 3rd down distance to go was 10.6 yards.
That's tough.
And they went 1 for 5 on 3rd and longs, which is 9+ yards. So really, really good job there by the defense to get off the field. And that's what we wanted to see, right?
They got off the field. The offense held the ball. That means the defense only had to play 34 plays. So that's helpful. Jet counter. It's just they just wore it out. Temple didn't really have a good answer because some teams will try to, and I think Coach Scott, you asked about this in the post game. I think Coach Scott said kind of we were trying to see how they would play, if they would honor the jet, if they would play the jet. Some teams will start slanting their defensive front to the jet. So you see here, like to the motion side, you're kind of seeing a little bit of this to where the motion's going. Even back here, he's coming into here. It looks like they're letting him kind of creep back over the top. But still, you're getting that play out of it. And it just leaves a guy one-on-one with the back. And they make a play, but it's 7 yards downfield. You're okay with that if you're USF. But that's kind of what they're looking for. How are they going to play it? Are they going to blitz off that? Some guys like to blitz the backside of the jet and slant their defense to it away from the motion and try to get you out front there. But they had a pretty good idea how they were going to play it. And then once they had their adjustments in the first half, they just unleashed this in the second half, and there wasn't much they could do about it. Especially when you got some good running backs. That helps too. Another one, just, again, if they're playing this far off, 6 yard hitch, take it all day. You got enough arm to put it on him. Puts it in there. I like that. If they're going to give it to you, take it. That'll only help you later on. Really good run by the back here. This is Joyner being patient with it. Again, good job here. Let me see Hall right here. This guy, credit to the safety for coming up to play this, but he gets smoked right here. He keeps his feet, but that is not fun. He kind of gets back in on the play later, but he's going to feel that one. Again, down here on the one, just inside zone. Great job hitting 100 miles an hour. This thing looked rough from the back. He kind of got a hit in the back there, but really good job hitting that thing 100 miles an hour. Here was the weirdest play of the night, maybe, but
yeah. Antonio Greer thought it was two-hand touch. So thought he saw red jersey, so he stopped. Two-hand touch it in practice, and then it was like, oh wait,
yeah, I can hit this guy. It must have been the red pants. He was thinking red, but he pulls him down there for a nice play. Jet counter. We've seen this before. A great run. It's got to be such a nightmare for defenses to get see Mangum, then see Joyner, and then Batie comes in and he's like shot out of a cannon every time he touches the ball, and he runs really hard too. So they are a really tough group. And then you notice here, 4 guys to one side kind of limits what kind of looks the defense is going to show you, because this is kind of an odd formation. You don't see this a ton. So they may kind of be able to limit what they can check to and that kind of stuff. And then you got these guys coming in running like crazy. And hey, look at this, right? Remember 25 was the guy that flew down and made the play on Jimmy Horn?
Yep.
Right. And now what's the USF been doing a lot in the second half? They've been running a lot of counter off this jet. So watch what happens here. Oh, yeah. He's not so quick to get there, and he actually ends up – you can see him kind of – oh, no. You can see him kind of come back almost for the counter look, and then, oh, no, I'm out of position. They block it up really good. And then this one is just the sniper.
The sniper just takes out Amarian Dollison, unfortunately. Hate when that happens.
I told you this in the press box. I think after he caught that one punt block against Citadel on the weirdest touchdown I've ever seen in my life, it seems as if he is cursed. It was some kind of deal with the devil almost, even him catching that. Because against Florida, he turns outside, looks like he may score and trips. Here, gets in the open field and trips. He's just too explosive for his own good. He can't even handle how fast he is.
I know.
But I love seeing him get the ball in his hands in space. There's a lot of guys on this offense that you want to get the ball in space too. Luckily, a lot of them play running back, so you can just hand it to them. So if you block things up, great cut right here. We talk about Mangum's feet and his cutting and these backs' ability to just get vertical. Right here, there's a seam, bang, get vertical. Almost break through. Nate really thought
this was the one, man. I really thought this was the one, and then he just freaking shoestring tackle takes him down. Are you kidding me?
Right here,
like right there. I was like, oh, he's gone. He finally has it, and then
almost prediction fulfilled. And if he scores there, maybe that. I guess they end up scoring on this drive anyways. But here's what I was talking about earlier. You talk about strong running. This is just a nightmare for defenses. Again, jet counter. Watch. We talk about Mangum sticking his foot in the ground. Watch this right here. Bang. Get vertical. Then split these two guys. Break the tackle. Almost get in there.
It's got 7 more yards after he got spun around. I mean.
Yeah. And then we need to start a signal like a caw or something for the vulture is in.
The vulture's in. Batie tried it on first down, got stuffed. They're like, all right, bring in the vulture.
So they got to get Batie in the end zone. He's been running too well to not get him in the end zone in one of these weeks. Let's get him in.
Isn't Michael Keaton's character in Spider-Man
the Vulture? Yes.
Vulture.
Yes.
All right. Someone listening, I'm gonna
Photoshop.
I'm gonna need Jaren's face
You can even keep
on the
him,
vulture's body.
He wears the helmet, so you could even keep, Jaren's face with the USF helmet on, and just have him in the wings.
I'm gonna need that ASAP, folks.
And put like a 1 on one wing and a 2 on the other for how many touchdowns he has. And then, final play here of the film room. We got to watch this beautiful interception. So you're trying to get the shallow coming across. Throws a little bit behind him. What a catch. This was really wild. Tip.
Ball.
Looks like he's got it to his helmet. A little David Tyree. And holds it in the one arm. And you get a nice little celebration.
Let's back that up a little bit. All right, I want you to look at the 37-yard line. Guy in the red shirt, that is Glenn Spencer. Just watch him.
Yeah, you think he's happy that he's got more of his the guys that are supposed to be starting playing in a game? That's helpful.
It is. How about that? Health and the defense plays pretty well.
That always helps.
Who would have thought?
When you have 5 guys transfer in or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden none of them can play, you might struggle a little bit. And then especially if you've got more starters than that down. Listen, I think somebody said, well, if the ball would have been thrown a little bit better, that interception wouldn't have happened. I think it's up in the press box, right? Somebody said, well, if they threw that one a little better, that interception would happen. If you threw that one better, Antonio Greer probably would have ripped this guy's head clean off his body. So I'm sure 81 probably prefers this instead. Oh, look at that. What a catch there. And then our photographer got some excellent photos.
Yeah, shout out to Morgan. She crushing the game. I think she's up in Philadelphia this weekend, and I think she'll be back for Cincinnati. I got to double check on that because she shoots mostly soccer for USL and whatnot. And I think the playoffs. I think the Routers are going to be in the playoffs. I think so. There may be a schedule conflict, so we may have to unfortunately bring Steve back off the bench as a photographer.
All right, and that's the game. It was a beatdown, but you can kind of see how it was a lot of, get them going one way in the second half, bring the counter, and they had no, they really had no answer because USF kept them pretty much off balance. So, really great game playing by the offensive staff. Defensive staff did a great job. I think they gave up 200 yards or something, 212 yards or something like that.
And let me double check on that. I got the stats pulled up. 217 yards.
And we did show all of Andrew Stokes' plays. So
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
punters are people too, so we want to make sure that we highlight all of his great plays from last Saturday.
Every single play he was out there, we showed it. So that's it. I mean, anybody in the chat got questions? But I mean, that was pretty much it. Great playing on both sides of the ball. Hopefully, we see something similar tomorrow night. And speaking of tomorrow night, Nate, what's happening tomorrow night?
The Daily Stampede watch party at Irish 31 in Hyde Park, 1611 West Swan Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33606. Be sure you're there. We've got some tickets that you're gonna raffle away. If you can't make it out, this is an absolute shameless plug. Just shameless if you can't make it out but still want to donate and help out your friendly neighborhood blog. Our Venmo is at the Daily Stampede. No donation is too small. We will use it wisely. We will send. It does have extra bones teeth. Maybe it is a shameless pug. Did he have bones today? Was it a bones day? Anybody know?
I don't know. What is now? We're talking about the vulture here.
The vulture, the Michael Keaton character. I need Jaron Mangum's head.
What about this vulture?
Michael Keaton? Too cartoony.
Too cartoon. I mean, you got the green. I was just throwing it in there for the green. But all right, let's get Michael Keaton. So, for those that are uninitiated, we've been calling Jaron Mangum the touchdown vulture because there's been several times this year where, just based on the rotation, it seems like he gets brought in when they're on the 1 or 2 yard line after one of the other backs gets them down there, and he comes in and scores the touchdowns. So we've been referring to him as the touchdown vulture.
The touchdown vulture. You guys play any fantasy football, the touchdown vultures. Mike Allstott was a prolific touchdown vulture of Warwick Dunn, of Michael Pittman. Well, I guess Michael Pittman not really, because Michael Pittman would have been good to be considered being a vulture. But he was the guys who are just have the propensity of getting those 1 yard tough in the end zone and just really ruining your fantasy football day. That is Jaron Mangum, except you're going to start Jaron Mangum every single day of the week. I mean, 26 carries, 152 yards, two tutties. He's up to 12. I mean, we've got 5 games left. 20 is on the table here, folks. 20 touchdowns with 600 yards overall. I mean, it is on the table. What's he at right now? Let's take a quick gander at the stats here and see if I can pull them up quickly. Probably not, because that'd be too easy. But again, make sure you guys come hang out at Irish 31 tomorrow. We'll have the raffle. We'll have a lot of fun stuff. It's just going to be a fun time. I don't think the weather is going to be too much of a concern tomorrow night. It's covered. It's going to be great. It'll be a good time to just hang out with some fellow USF fans and just really make the most of it. Jaron Mangum's at 416 yards this year. There's a distinct possibility, maybe 800 yards and 20 touchdowns seems doable. I mean,
here's a variety of vultures here. These will all work for Nate's intents and purposes here.
USF Wizard, he is 6 shy of the all-time record, tying the all-time record with Quentin Flowers at 18. He's at 12. And then, I mean, he could get that in the next 2 or 3 games.
Would be pretty
cool.
I
mean,
how many? Here's the question: what's the over under? 6 touchdowns. What's the over under on the yards for those touchdowns combined?
14.
14. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to say over because he's going to bust a long one this week. Is that part of your prediction this week?
No, it's not. Actually, no. You know what? Let's track this. Over the course of the rest of the year. Okay, he's at 12. Whatever he ends at, what do you think is a realistic 27.5 yards over under the average, the over under total of the remaining touchdowns that he gets?
Yeah, let's say what's 6? You said 27.5. No, I think 5 a rush. Let's say 30.
Okay, so if I said it 31.5, would you go under?
I think I'd go over just because it seems they can't only score 1 yard touchdowns the whole year. I mean, maybe they can.
Not so fast, my friend.
We've gotten this far, but I mean, he's got to break one eventually. At least a 10-yarder. A 10-yarder, I mean, puts the whole thing on its head. Then he's only got to get, then the average yard goes way down. So I'd say over, but I mean, what's he at so far this year on his 12? Do you have that? I know you were working on something.
Yeah, I'm working. Let me see if I can pull that up.
The 2 this week were from the 1 yard line, I'm pretty sure. So there's 2 yards.
All right. So he has 12. So I need to count last week's.
I think they were both 1-yarders, I believe.
All right. And then the week before was SMU. He got a touchdown, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or not SMU, excuse me. Tulsa.
Yeah.
One yard. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I want to
3
make sure.
So that's 3 touchdowns, 3 yards.
Yeah. I want to make sure that last week.
While Nate is looking for this, I'll update you on the betting splits here. So it opened. East Carolina was a 6.5-point favorite, or 6-point favorite, depending on where you look. It is at 10, and then some places it's at 9.5. So earlier today, money was coming in on USF. It seems to kind of have turned, and maybe it'll stabilize like 9.5 or 10 right now. 51% of the bets are on East Carolina and 74% of the money. So the big money is on East Carolina right now. But earlier in the day, I looked, and there was some bigger money coming on USF, so that kind of got it down from 10 to 9.5 in some places. So maybe it'll stabilize at 9.5. We'll see. If it could get up to 10.5, it'd be a nice little spot to bet USF, probably getting the extra half point there on 10. And then also 55% of the tickets are on the under, and 73% of the money is on the under, which is now 56.5, open at 58.5. So all that money probably dropped it lower there. So that's kind of the update on the betting for the game.
All right. I've got the numbers here.
All right.
So Jaron Mangum has 12 touchdowns this year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you every single one, their yardage. And then I'll tally it up, the total and the average yard per touchdown.
All right. Does anybody want to take a guess beforehand?
Yeah. Anybody want to take a guess on what the total amount of yards in Jaron Mangum's 12 touchdowns have been so far this year?
So if it's a 1-yard touchdown, that'd be 1 yard. So how many for 12 touchdowns? Any guesses?
Going once.
If you guess correctly, closest to it, if you come to the watch party, Steve will do an impression for you. We've got him in a whole different type of film room tonight. We told him he couldn't watch with us. He had to go kind of 37. Andy's got 37.
Okay.
113. You're going to be sorely you're going to Great guess. Good answer. 14 yards. That's probably going to be pretty close. 30. All right, so there we go. 37, 14, 30. Let's see where we're at. So keep
Seth,
going your guesses.
Do you want to guess?
I'm going to guess let's go like 35.
Okay.
I think
here's the yardage of each score. 1 yard.
I feel way too high now already.
1 yard, 2 yard, 2 yard, 4 yard, 9 yard, 2 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, for a grand total of 26 yards over 12 touchdowns. That is an average of 2.16 yards per touchdown run. That is
Price is Right style. Christopher wins closest without going over with 14 as the guess.
Let me make sure. So he is by far the fewest amount of yards per rushing touchdown among the season leaders, single season touchdown rushers. Mike Ford is second at 5.7 yards per touchdown.
It's like double.
And Jaron is well on his way to tripling that number.
We should make like a vulture trophy that gets passed on. It's the vulture record is kind of the lowest yardage total.
Yeah.
This is why we need the meme, right?
Yes. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum there, Quentin Flowers, his single season touchdown holder for rushing touchdowns, 2018 and 2016. His average yards per touchdown was 19.6 yards. Very explosive guy. Didn't know if you guys knew that.
If Mangum breaks the record, will he have more yards on touchdowns than Quentin Flowers' longest touchdown run of the season?
Of that season?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Justin, you got Vulture.
His long is 63 yards.
Oh, that's gonna be tight, I think.
That's gonna be pretty tight.
That'll be interesting. Here's the record holder. And he has 19 rushing touchdowns on 65 yards of rushing.
And then
60 yards of rushing.
And then Marlon Mack in 2016 as well. He's the running back leader with 15. So he's 3 away from that. His average yard per touchdown run, 29.1 yards per touchdown.
So
we're going to need a couple of 99-yarders to help pad the stats here for Jaron Mangum to even get him close. Just incredible stuff. I mean, Marlon Mack that year had touchdown runs of 52, 49, 34, 30, 85, 60, 43, and 56.
So he's unless he breaks a really long one, he's definitely not going to be over that 85-yard mark when he hits 15.
Yeah. There's no shot.
They all count for 6 points, so.
I mean, just the incredible stuff by Jaron Mangum, by maybe it's a bit that Charlie Weiss is doing. It's a pretty good bit, but just incredible stuff there. And as we wrap up this wonderful Temple film room, love the interaction with you guys. So you guys have been great this week, and I'm excited for tomorrow to talk to you people face to face and really just commiserate in USF fandom. Huge win by men's soccer tonight. Didn't want to go without saying the men's soccer coming up clutch in overtime after blowing a 3-1 lead against Central Florida. So knocked them off 4-3 in overtime. Just a great job by them as they fight for a spot in the AAC tournament against a team that was receiving votes in the top 25 polls. So good stuff by the boys over there. And we'll get this thing kicked off tomorrow. I'm excited to see you guys. Thanks again to Seth for cutting up the film and making us all smarter. Be sure to check us out. I don't know what we're going to do pregame show-wise. I think we may just talk to you guys.
We'll do it live and in person.
Yeah, so maybe we'll take questions as we head into the game. But that's it for another episode of the TDS Live Film Room. This is Nathan and Seth signing off. Have fun, be safe. See you guys tomorrow. Go Bulls.